Hi, how do you do? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications if you can, and give me a big thumbs up. Today's video is going to it's going to be in 3 parts. I think that's the best way to do it. It's going to be about my experience of camp. So it's going to be, today's video is going to be about the process of getting to camp, how much money it costs, the realities of it. I'm going to mention everything, the good, the bad, the stressful, the exciting parts. The second video is going to be about my experience of camp, because that's obviously different to everybody's experience of camp, and I'm going to give like tips and tricks and things that work and what not to bring and what to bring. And then the third video is going to be about my experience of travelling after camp. So it's just going to be a mix of everything. Today's video is important though, because it is the process of getting to camp. It's how it happened, the pricing, things they don't tell you. I spoke to other people that went to camp. They've kind of helped me come up with like questions and stuff like that I'm going to answer. I'm going to tell you about the prices and everything. So yeah, please stick around for it. Thank you for watching again, and I love you all. So let's just get straight into the video. Okay, so I'm just going to start right back at the beginning. So my first year that I went to camp was 2017. I decided quite late that I wanted to go to camp because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go and do a season abroad or whether I just wanted to do something like camp. So I decided to January. Now bear in mind I flew out in May, so that is only like 5 months. So you can definitely decide earlier. I decided to go through camp leaders because one of my really good friends at the time had done camp before. She went through camp leaders. So they were great, they were absolutely fine. I know a lot of people go through Camp America, but I went through camp leaders. So the initial process started of, I filled out an application, like the usual stuff about yourself, what you kind of want to do, and then so that goes ahead. Application, then you speak to a person, so a person kind of interviews you. We did it over like Skype. Person interviews me, speaks to me about what I kind of want from camp, what camps I'm interested in, just so they can kind of match your profile up. The good thing is they will talk you all the way through your profile and they're on hand just to. So once you're kind of accepted fully on the camp leaders program, you have to pay a deposit. Now I look back, because obviously it was 2017, it's been what, 4 years. I look back to see how much I paid, and according to my camp leaders profile, I paid a £79 deposit to secure your place on the camp leaders program. That wasn't even just to secure your place at a camp, that was camp leaders profile. So that happened. Paid a deposit. You kind of have to, like, you do your profile, kind of, you're selling yourself. It is, at the end of the day, it's you're the product that you're selling. So you have to kind of sell yourself, and then there's a camp leaders job fair. So that's where a lot of the camps from America will come over, and you can go around, and it's basically like speed interviews. You can go around and get interviews, and you can get hired on the spot, or you don't get hired, but after that your profile goes live online. So I went to the job fair. I was in Glasgow. They were very easy to get in touch with about that. There was no issues there. I went, and actually it's really funny because I got interviewed by the camp I ended up going to, and they rejected me and didn't think I was right for the job, and then they hired me later online, but that's a whole different story. So you interview for as many places as you want. There's no really like limit. I didn't get hired obviously on that day. So basically what happens after that is your profile then goes live. So your profile goes live online for many camps to see. Now in this time, while you're waiting to be hired by a camp, you have to, the first year you actually have to pay a camp leader's fee, like a program fee. So my fee altogether, by the time I paid it all, was £299. So that was a fee for camp leaders, and that was including the deposit and stuff. It was to secure your place in camp leaders. That didn't even mean that you were getting a place at camp. That was just to secure your place in the camp leaders website, and then you could be hired by camp. Very stressful trying to get that money together, because obviously I don't come from like the richest background, and I was just in uni, and it was stressful, but we managed it. And then you pay, so that also includes your flights, I will say, and this is why I went for that option, because you could go for an option that was cheaper, but I went for the option that was more expensive, and because they paid for your flights and sorted your flights yourself. But because I was flying from Scotland, I got charged an extra £50 on top of that. So that was like, what, we're talking £349 now, just because I lived somewhere different. So that was annoying. And I'm pretty sure, and I could be lying, but I'm pretty sure because they paid for my flights, I didn't get paid the right amount when I flew over. I think they took a wee bit off the wages I was getting paid. So that was that. Then you had to pay £20 for a medical fee. I paid £20. I know a lot of other people that paid a lot more. So that was just your doctor printing off your medical file saying that you were fine to go over, which I kind of get. Every other year that you went, you didn't have to do this, but I kind of get why it happened. Then you had to pay £60 for a police check. Now that was a yearly thing. That wasn't like one police check, like, you know, you get a PVG and it lasts for however many years. No, it was every single year that you had to get a police check, so that was £60. Then your visa was £120, I'm pretty sure, or thereabout. And then in my insurance was £25. Check, visa, medical, insurance. Yep, so that's it. So I just worked out the price here just quickly to run it down, and it was about £574 right off the bat. So it doesn't seem like a lot of money considering I was going over to work in America for 3 months and whatever, but there is so much hidden fees that camp leaders don't talk about, or I'm pretty sure any other place talks about, because they're selling you a product. They talk about it with rose tinted glasses, like, you'll go to America for 3 months, you'll work in a camp, and then you'll travel for a month after, and it's going to be the best experience of your life. And it absolutely is, but they do not talk about how much it's actually going to cost. You just see, when you click on the camp leader's website, you just see an initial price and you think, oh, that's really good, but there is so much more to it, and in such a short amount of time that you have to pay all this and like have this organised and have this set up. And at times it was very confusing because you weren't sure what you were paying at what time, especially with the fee. I'm pretty sure the fee was more, but when I looked on my profile it said it was only £300, but I'm pretty sure I paid more. So I'm going to investigate that further, and if I have, I've just filmed this video and I'm editing it now, but I'm honestly convinced I paid about £550 for a camp leader's fee. I'm really unsure. Like I say, I went onto my profile and that's the only thing it showed me was that fee from 2017, so that's all I can go by. But again, if any of the camp people I went to camp with can like confirm if it was that, or confirm if it was more, that would be fab. Travelling to London to get a visa, that was before travelling to the airport, spending money, buying stuff for camp. It's annoying that you have to pay an extra £50 just to fly from the city you're from. Like, that's not very fair. So yeah, there is lots and lots of hidden fees. And I'll also say that if you go to camp and you decide that the camp isn't for you and you want to go home, they have to draw up a payment plan for you to pay back everything that you owe them, and I'm pretty sure you have to get your own flights home. So it is a lot of money for something that you might not even enjoy. I was lucky, I enjoyed it, I stayed, but I know a lot of people that didn't stay in my camp, wanted to go home, and they were paying that back for a really, really long time. So yeah, so that's like the kind of pricing aspect of it. And when I spoke to my camp friends, a lot of them were saying, please just speak about the prices. And if you are on the poorer side, it is a lot of money just to go to something that you might not be sure about. So that's something definitely to consider. It is, like, for me personally, it was the most amazing experience, but there is that. The visa aspect is stressful. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not stressful. It was the most time consuming, stressful experience. You have to fill out a massive application and you have to make sure that you fill it in correctly, exactly how camp leaders want you to fill it out. However, they don't really talk you through it, and there's not a lot of information out there, so you can easily fill it out wrong. Like my first year, I thought I filled it in right, thought I picked the J1 day, which is the day you're meant to go because that's the day camp leader sponsors, booked all my flights down, me, my mum and gran were going to go for a few days, and then I didn't book the right day, so I couldn't go. So I then had to go back down. So then I booked another day that me and my sister were going, but camp leaders didn't have the right paperwork for me to be sent out, because they send you out paperwork to go down with. So then I lost money. Well, I didn't lose money, I took a lot, but camp leaders paid the money back to me for my flights down, because that was a fault on their part. Then the third time I eventually went down. Now, the London embassy was, the first year, it was stressful. They do not talk to you, they do not tell you that you have to print out X, Y and Z, that you had to print out absolutely everything. Conveniently, down the street there was a shop that printed out everything that you needed, so it was almost as if they were saying to you, they wanted you not to come with everything so this shop could get money. That was stressful. You were then waiting for ages and ages and ages, and it was very stressful. Like, it was obviously, because it was like a building, like a government building, you weren't allowed your phone, you were it was very like scary to be in. And then you're kind of, keep your passport, don't forget that, they keep your passport to put your visa in. That's another thing. So your visa is £120, but if you don't live in London or Belfast, so you are having to travel. I had to travel from Scotland down to London, so that was money with it in itself. That was a lot of money just to go for one day for a visa appointment that takes, well, London the first year took about 45 minutes. So it's like a lot of money to go down to get your visa, to then come back up and wait for your passport. My second year I went down to London, but it was a new embassy at this point, and they were actually, it was better organised this time. And like, I was running a bit late because our flight was delayed. They were absolutely fine about it, but I know in the first year I had people that had went were late and the embassy shut by a certain time and they wouldn't let them in, they had to come back. Third year I went to Belfast, and let me tell you, I wish I went to Belfast every single year, because it was so much quicker, less scary, less intimidating, got the job done within 10 minutes. So I flew over in the morning from Scotland, so it was not that long at all. I got a bus to the embassy, it was very well pointed out, everything was great, I wasn't scared, met some people, like, they were lovely. Went in for my embassy appointment, was there about 10 minutes, that was it, done, approved. But again, that was still flights over, and then I had to have money for the day there, and then I got a flight back. So again, another hidden fee that they don't talk to you about, because, well, that's what it is. So then you have your police check, obviously is £60 I've mentioned. You just fill in another major form, gets sent away, and then it comes back to you to say you've had no criminal record. And then you have to upload each document to camp as you go. So I had to upload my medical one, and then I had to upload my visa when it came, and then I had to upload thingy when it came. I've said my visa, my police check. Also, side note, you have to get references, which is a mission in itself sometimes. So I get why you have to get references. You're obviously going to work at a camp, so either with special needs like I did, or like young children and that, so that makes sense. But it's a very, and I didn't. But I think the process isn't spoke about enough, and it is a very, very time consuming thing. You are constantly having to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And like I said, I left the first year, I left at 5 months, it'd be 5 months to go. And it was stressful. It was so stressful trying to get everything done. And also, I want to mention, and some of my other friends from camp mentioned this, camp leaders don't really go into a lot of detail about camps for disabilities, and obviously I got placed at one and I loved my camp and I will forever be indebted to my camp, but it never really spoke to you about what was expected from you at a disability camp, what the hardships could be, what the excitement could be. It kind of only ever spoke about young kids or like teenagers, and never really went into detail. So I literally went into this experience blind when I went to camp, which is important as well. I think people need to understand that there wasn't a lot of information passed back and forth. I will say they were, for me personally, they were good at getting in touch. Camp leaders, like, they were okay with it. Like, for instance, I thought I could pay my insurance when I was over there, because my insurance was kicking in after the £25 I was paid was for after when I was going travelling, but apparently I couldn't, and they phoned my mum and my mum ended up paying it before I left, so that was fine. Also, another thing, this is all just coming to me in my brain, another thing I want to speak about is you have to pick your flights coming home. You have to pick a date that you think you're coming home, which in the first year I don't think is really fair, because camp ends at a specific day. You know what day your camp ends, but you're allowed to travel for a month after. So people are always like, yeah, I want to travel, but you don't know who you're going to travel with. Unless people are flying from home to meet you, you're not going to know in camp who you travel with, and I guarantee you will meet people in camp that you will want to travel with, but you don't know. And if your dates aren't aligned, or if in my case I was meant to travel with a girl that I knew from home, my first year she ended up bailing on me, and I was kind of left with 2 weeks to kind of fill, and I tried to book my, like, change my return flights, and it was costing me like an extra £500. It wasn't worth it. So I was lucky. I ended up going to surprise Natalie in Chicago, who's one of my really close American friends, and then I went to Virginia with my sister's best friend because her dad lived there. So I was so lucky, but if I didn't have those people I would not have been that lucky, and they didn't make it easy to change. So I think that's something that really needs to be looked at. You can't expect people to have return flights booked when they don't even know people from camp, so they don't really know their plan of action. Or they should, yeah, I get it for insurance purposes, but they should make it easier to change it and not £500 more. So that was kind of annoying. But the overall process of getting to camp is stressful, it's time consuming, it is a lot of money for like all of this to happen. And also, and that's what I want to speak about, it's not just a wee payment fee to camp leaders, you get hired at camp and that's hunky-dory. It's really not. Like, there is so much added to it, and I suppose that's good because it's all, you know, it's all legal and it's all like grey, and they're trying to help you and stuff like that, and they've got all the information about you, but it's so time consuming. The visa process is so time consuming and so stressful. Same with the police check, same with medical, and they don't talk about that. Because obviously, like I said earlier, that they're selling something to you, they're selling an experience. They're going to speak about all the good, but they're not necessarily going to speak about the realities, and that's what I kind of wanted to speak about, and that's what I know a lot of people from camp wanted to speak about, that it does take a lot of your time up. So if you're thinking about it, one, like, know for sure it's something that you definitely want to do, not just something that you want to do because it looks cool. Like, it is a lot of money to get out of if you don't want to do it anymore. And I know some people don't know until they get there, but like, really think hard on it. Number 2, take a lot of money with you. Number 3, be very aware of how long it will take you. It's not a quick application and you're going to America for the summer of your life. It's a very long application process. And then number 5, know what you're getting yourself into. Like, ask so many questions. Don't be afraid to message your camp director, because that was my first summer. I didn't want to come across as scared, but don't. Like, they are absolutely fine with you messaging them. Ask as many questions. Ask people that have done camp leaders or Camp America or all the other places before. Get people to help you through the process, because it is really scary, and sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, where do I go from here? How do I answer this? How do I not answer this? So yeah, definitely do that. Be very aware that your first year that you might not know who you're going to travel with, so don't be booking dates like way into the future, because honestly, camp is draining, and it is the most amazing experience but the most draining. You want to be finished camp and go home if you haven't met people you want to travel with, so keep that in mind. But also, like, have fun after it. Like, it is such a draining process and it is so long, but it also does give you the summer of a lifetime if you are willing to stick through the application, and like I say, the hidden fees. And I'm basing it off of the calculations I found in emails and things like that, but I just want to give the realities of the actual process of it. If you have any questions, if you're going through this process just now, you have any questions at all, like, hit me up, like, message me, because I've done it 3 times and by the 3rd time I'm like a pro. But the very first time is scary, and like, not a lot of people will tell you it's scary. So yep, that's all I have to say on that matter. If anybody has any questions, or any of my camp people want to like add more to it, please just comment underneath and add things that I might have missed, because obviously it's from my experience. But that is the video. I love you guys so much. Part 2 will be up at some point. Part 3 will probably be up a bit after. I might speak to Becca and see if she wants to kind of speak about the experience that we did travelling together. But I love you all. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much.